Hi guys, I thought I would share a video about my Hobonichi Weeks from last year and this year and kind of comparing how I've used them and how I plan on doing things differently for next year. I did go ahead and buy a 2024 Hobonichi Weeks Mega. These two are the regular, so I'm interested to see how the Mega works for me. I think part of the reason that I tend to stray from these is because I'm afraid of running out of the notes pages, which I tend to use for notes, like lists, and then of course like daily logs. And so I want to try that, and I also want to see how I like the new Tomoe River paper. I think I got the little sample when I got my Hobonichi cousin this year, and of course I can't find it. I think I may have accidentally tossed it, but I remember liking the new paper a little bit more than the previous version, or I guess original version. And so I think those two things should be like pluses for me to kind of stick with the weeks. And then having these two, looking at them, I'm like kind of interested to just sort of have, you know, my collection grow over the years. I think these are, you know, pretty simple to archive, just kind of throw them on the shelf and they're good to go. I was going back through my personal rings, and I just, as much as I like the system, there's just too many drawbacks, I think, archiving being one of them. And so, and like losing things and things getting mixed around. And so this kind of book-bound system, I think, will work. Also, I was playing in my Moleskine Pocket Weekly again. And I know they have like the bigger A5 slim version, but I think this is kind of like a good medium between the two, of like, it's kind of like the width of a pocket, but longer. And so I do have a Moterm cover coming that I ordered from Moterm, and so that'll take a while. I think it was like 45 days, shipping like 15 to 45 days. So it'll be a while before that gets here, but I have time, like I'm not in any rush. I don't tend to carry my planners out, so I don't need it in that sense, but I do like to have like stickies and just like extra things, and I think the pockets will come in handy. And so my 2022 weeks was my first one, obviously. I did kind of, I think, decorate it a bit more than, I guess it would help if I took my stuff out. My current weeks, I just laid a couple stickers down. These are some washi that came with my Yoseka order, which is where I bought this week's and the cover. And then in the back, yeah, there's not really anything there. And so I think for next year, I probably will do something similar, just like really simple, like a sticker or two. I think with this one, I think I had more in here, which you can see the paper's kind of torn up because I think I took it off. I think when I tend to over decorate, I get either tired of it or I don't like it, and then you're kind of stuck with it. So in my experience, I guess in my case, doing things more simple would be better. And then like for tip-ins, I think the paper you use matters. I think this is like a thicker paper, so I'm not really a fan of it. And same with in the back here, I tipped in an order tracker, and it's just like too bulky right in the middle. So I think if I do want to like tip in a page for next year, I'll use a thinner paper, either Tomoe River, or I have the Kokuyo paper, which is kind of similar. And probably not just like a printer paper because it's just too thick. And then I think, let's look at my dates. Okay, so I covered this up last year. And then I didn't end up really using this. And then for the English version, you have the lines here for important dates. And here I had kind of highlighted my cycle, and then I thought for next year I could do just like a list for how long they are, because I like to keep track of like how many days they are without having to like count this all. But for right now, I just have like the months that I either did like house things, like clean the vacuum filter, change the water filter, change the car filter, and then like also like keeping note of annual sort of subscriptions, like bills and things that come up kind of once a year. And so I think for 2024, let me go like this so that I can keep track. I will probably do keep track up here of like the one-time bills and subscriptions, or like big things like we bought a car, and like keeping note of that up here to kind of have everything in one spot. Because currently I have it just like on sticky notes throughout the months at the bottom here. So in 2022, I tried to use this as, I think, a health log and a workout log, tracking my leave balances for work, tracking my cycle, and so it was kind of all over the place. Good, I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that was in reference to. And then same with this year. I started as like a health log, cycle log, and then I went into mood with like color coding, which I was doing in my Happy Planner and my cousin, but I find like reaching for the marker, it's just like too much that I didn't do it. So just writing in the mood I find is working well, and I probably will continue that next year. I did kind of start tracking my bills up here, but I'm not going to do that. I think I'll keep track of these in my monthly spreads, and then down here I have just like how long my cycles were, which is okay for now, but I don't think I'll keep that here. I'll probably move that back here for 2024. And then my monthlies, let's see. So like this started off really simple this year. Last year I tried kind of like color blocking a little bit, I guess. Let's just kind of go through. I think this year is a lot more kind of simple. I don't know. I need to just like pick a pen and stick with it, because this is kind of all over the place. I think I did a lot of washi on the side last year, which was fine, but I do find I tend to use the sidebar sometimes. So maybe not all the time. Sorry, that's not in frame. Like here, I tried to do a mood tracker and that just didn't really work. It's just easier for me to write how I feel versus trying to like match it up with a base. Goals, I liked this. I think I'll continue that, although I didn't do it for September. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I feel like this is more messy than this. It's pretty simple. And then I'm gonna skip October for this year because I don't want to share private info, but I will kind of share how I ended the year in my weeks last year. And I think by December I was in my new weeks, which I don't know, I might try and stick to this pink one for through the end of the year, and then just start my new weeks in 2024. We'll see. And then my weeks, I think last year I'll kind of flip through. I was testing spreads. I kind of liked this, but I think I have more value in using this side to list out everything I need to do for that week, because that seems to be the thing I try and do in all of my planners, which is why I tend to gravitate towards like this or the Moleskine, because it gives you the space to just kind of list out everything you need to do. So a lot of the things I find I'm just like brain dumping things I want to do that week. Nothing is ever really date specific. But this is kind of a cool thing if you want to try and get everything for that week in one spread. But I think this year I've discovered that I like having space for dailies. Like, I may not need a whole page, but just having the choice to do, I think this was like a journal. Yeah, my kids got COVID last year. Was it last year? No. Maybe not. I like this as well. I try to do this for work so that I kind of did Monday through Friday and then had like a daily log for the weekdays and then use the bottom for notes. But I don't want to use my nice planner for work. I want to use it for me. Yeah, last year I think I tried a lot of different things, different styles, definitely more stickers than I do now. I find honestly, I forget about them. And I don't really need them to function. I'm more into like these cute little little emoji stickers now than I am like, I don't know, all of these other things. Hopefully none of this stuff is personal. This is fun to flip through. I think here I was trying to like squeeze my weekly to-dos here and then leave this for all of my daily stuff, and then I don't think I ended up using it. Even highlighters, I feel like if I use bold colors, I end up hating it. But really, what I don't like looking back on this is all of the different pens I've used and how much it's smeared. That's why I'm hoping the new paper works better with the pens I like. I think I found just using the Jetstream in my Hobonichis works best for me. So I've tried like lots of gel pens and definitely some fountain pens, but I don't know. I'm just too impatient for it to wait for it to dry. Oh, these stickers are cute. Didn't use it. Is this when it starts next? I think this is when it starts in the new book. That's probably why. And then I think these back pages are just kind of me testing out stuff. And you get to the notes pages, and I tried to do like an index and then it quickly devolved, which I think is sort of how this year went as well. Lots of just a mess. So I definitely want to try and plan out my notes pages for 2024. I did, looking back, do these little tip-ins at the beginning of the month, which I think are cute, and I'll probably try and go back to in 2024. Looks like I glued some pages together. Maybe on accident, maybe on purpose. March. I think I was using these to try to keep track of things to do, but then I wouldn't look back here, so I think it works best for me to kind of keep all of my goals and to-dos in my monthly spread, because I'm more likely to look at it. I don't know what this was supposed to be, but I never used it. I tipped in a paper from my personal rings. This is me planning my 23 weeks. Little stick figure from my daughter, so cute. And some to-dos, some tasks, like a little monthly dashboard. Lots of dailies back here. October, this was fun. I got this idea from Ashton from Virgo and Paper. I think she does this in her cousin. And so I've used it off and on in my planners, like in my personal rings and my moleskin. So I might do this next year. We'll see. This was, I think, like my favorite. Using it this way worked because I felt like I had enough space. And I was utilizing like the whole page and not having all this extra space. But this looks nice too, so. Test spread. Some journaling, test spread, and that's pretty much it. This is just me practicing stuff. Books read, movies watched, wish list, projects. I don't think I kept up with this. So then this is this year, which I did flip through in my last video, but for consistency's sake, we'll flip through it again. See, a lot more minimal. I don't like the lettering, so I don't know why I try and do it. Guess this is okay. Doing, I think this year, a lot of tipping in those pages when I mess up. You can see like this has grid on this side, which is fine, I guess. It's like a nice way to try, kind of like if you mess up in a personal rings, maybe you could print a new insert and redo it. That's like my version in this. This was kind of cute, but I think it's a bit too stickery for me. But I do love Helen's stickers, so I also think that's the way I like that one. I think this is my favorite spread for this week's. I think because of the quotes. Skipping lines is fine, but my writing is messy, so if I try to write neater, then I can fit it into one line and then fit more information on the page. See here, I'm using my Kaweco pen, and I think the nib is too big. It's fine, but I think for this, I need like an extra fine. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna put the Pilot Vanishing Point on my Christmas wish list. I like these spreads. These are inspired by Sam Kelly, of course, because her weeks is always just so beautiful. But it's a nice reminder that for me, like, simple works best. And this, I was in my Happy Planner and I was trying to fit all of the things that I fit in my planner in here, and I don't think it quite worked. I think like memories I ran out of space for because I use this for spending usually. Like here are some memories, but then I don't have space to track my spending, which when I'm trying to keep track of is something I'd like to prioritize. And so here we have like events, tasks, notes and memories, mood and spending, and then my weekly to do. So I think this is something I want to tag because I found this worked kind of, I think that's why I liked the Happy Planner for so long, was because this was kind of all the information that I felt like I wanted to keep track of, but the planner was just too big, so maybe trying to squeeze it into here I think will work. So I might try this next week, we'll see. Simple again, just a little bit of gratitude. I'm really digging the simple. This a lot is inspired by Ashton from Virgo and Paper. See, this is fountain pen. I just feel like it looks bad. It's so hard to write neatly, and I like to just write fast generally because I like to use my planner functionally. So like I don't want to take like 5 minutes to write out 3 words because I just need to use it. So this was last week. I tried using the Zig dot marker for to-dos, but I think it's a bit busy for me, so I'll probably just continue with a bullet point, or I got this new Hobonichi stencil. I've been watching a lot of SJ Plans Stella's videos, and she uses this a lot, and so I caved and bought one. So keeping track of spending. You can see I bought the Moterm cover last week's, and yesterday, and my Hobonichi Weeks Mega. I got the gray because I definitely regret getting the pink this year. So I think like I got the clear cover as well coming, so I can like put some vellum in, or maybe do a little bit more color in my spreads minimally, then have the outside be a little bit less. And then here's this week. This was just simple, like goals, work to do, and then I tried to highlight it and it smeared kind of like this, and it didn't like the smear, so I whited it out and put these kind of to do, my little work sticker, and then goals. Oh, I got this new it's a cream tape. It's called Wiper Petite, and it's 2.5 millimeters, so it's like a very skinny line, and I find it matches the moleskin and the Hobonichi paper really well, and it comes in a 2-pack. I'll try and link it in my box below. Yeah, and so this is the rest of the weeks are kind of clear. Trying to remind myself to use sticky notes to plan ahead. Yeah, so kind of flip through my notes really quick. Some journaling, don't know what it else says. Some daily logs, habit tracker, handwriting practices, redoing a spread, health log. So it's September, I have October set up, and then November, December, redoing a spread. I think this is me mostly just like testing different layouts. Dailies, this is today, and that's therapy notes. Skip over that. I've since moved my therapy notes to my personal rings, and I think I'll keep that up for next year because I want them all in one spot. Books to read, and I tipped these in at the beginning of the year thinking like, oh, I'm gonna read so many books and have all this, like I'm gonna need more space. And so I started using those and completely forgot that these were here. And then, so this is sort of my plan for next year, what I want to keep track of in my Hobonichi Weeks, and then what I want to keep in my personal rings. And so I'm hoping this works. I'm a lot less stressed this week, kind of just using this, thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to use, finish out the year in this. It is what I started in, so I feel like we're coming full circle. But I just thought I'd share my weeks and how I've used them, and I'm looking forward to setting up my weeks next year for 2024, and hopefully like streamlining it and making it more simple and functional for me. So thanks for watching. Bye.